everybody. Happy Monday, and welcome to Collider TV Talk for TV fans. I'm your host, Sinéad Vries, and this is the weekly show where we bring you the latest news from the world of television, plus talk about the weekend that was in TV. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to change this intro, but I'm all right with it. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Joining us this afternoon is Josh Macuga.
Sinead, I got to tell you, it's great being back here with all you guys. I felt like last week was a whirlwind of emotion.
Yeah, I was getting pretty sick of you, not gonna lie. Just kidding.
I'm
Totally kidding.
It was a blast. It's a ton of fun. We're back here weekly, obviously on Monday. We're going to be live from here on out. So we're always going to be live 2 p.m. unless the internet goes down again, which is what happened this morning. That's why Movie Talk here on Collider didn't get uploaded until about an hour ago. It's live, though, now, right? Adam, Cody, Movie Talk is up and ready to go, so you guys can watch that. If you're watching this now, then go to Movie Talk. You can watch us live. We're also going to take a ton of Twitter questions at the end of the show, so hashtag Collider TV Talk. Send them over to Sinead Vries, a.k.a. Snead Vries, a.k.a. Shanasty, and she will curate them, and we will answer them. Who else is here, Sinead?
Also joining us this afternoon is Emma Fyffe.
Yes, here we are again. I did wake up this morning in a little bit of a panic because it was like 7 o'clock, and I was like, I gotta go, and I was like, no, I don't. It's not until 2 o'clock this afternoon. It's gonna be okay.
We made it.
Yeah.
We're here. Who else is here, Sinead?
It sounds like how I wake up every single morning. Also here is David Griffin.
It was a great weekend, yeah.
Yes. Griffin is back. He's here. Guys, there's a goal here on TV Talk, and it's to make David Griffin sneeze on air. So I've decided to bring Pepper. If you've never heard David Griffin sneeze, it is the most adorable thing
Is
of
it like
all
one
time.
of those like?
No.
What is
It's
it?
sort of like a very lovely chihuahua that got something in his nose, like
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, like a cartoon.
little cartoon, little David Griffin's cartoon sneeze.
Hopefully I will not have
What
to
would you
sneeze.
say you are most allergic to, David Griffin, so we can be sure
your
to bring
nose,
that
in your
your
nose
nose?
area.
Yeah,
I have-
Nothing that's gonna like kill you.
right. But like this is just gonna make
Well,
you.
no, probably, I mean, pepper, obviously.
Right.
Cut grass.
Oh.
Freshly
What
cut
if we
grass.
just like do the little like when I was a kid, I used to roll up the tissue
Yeah.
and make a little
Oh
point
yeah,
and then
just
my
tickle the nose.
No, it doesn't
Yeah,
work
yeah.
for me. Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
damn.
Yeah.
Interesting. And your beard is coming back in nicely.
It's grown. It's been a few weeks. Yeah.
All right.
Getting ready for Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I call it the Comic-Con beard.
Oh, really?
Ah.
You're gonna grow it up this far in advance?
Yeah, I need a good 3 months to get nice and
He wants
nice
to make
and
sure
thick.
it's really luxurious.
Yeah.
Remember that video last year when you guys got freaked out by the dinosaur?
dinosaur.
What did it say?
Dinosaur.
Yeah, dinosaurs. Yeah. That's what came out of nowhere.
I'm a jumpy person, you sons of bitches. I cannot take that.
It's so good. I love that.
Man. Okay, so I guess to get this thing started, first of all, like I said, internet was down pretty much all of this morning here at Collider, so I didn't get a chance to really get the TV Talk update until about 20 minutes ago. So Sinead usually has really fun stuff to read that I usually botch in the writing category. A lot of commas in there, a lot of misplaced words. So basically, we're just going to run through some topics. We're going to talk about shows. We're going to do some high-lows. And then live Twitter questions. It's going to be a very free, fun show for everybody out there in Collider TV Talk land. We're going to start with the update. Everybody, you guys have been asking us, do we know when we're going to go live and daily again? Do we know the future, like what's going to happen? We don't really know anything yet. I know that we had a blast doing it.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
And I know that we want to do it daily, and we want to bring you more up-to-date news. And last week, obviously, we had a perfect week to do it live.
Yeah.
And so many good news stories that dropped for us. So I guess around the table, highs and lows of last week and what you would want to see for the show and how you'd want it to go. Sinead, we'll start with you.
Well, I think the great thing about going live daily is the fact that we had the opportunity to talk about so much more television. It's because I felt like it was a week full of really positive feedback from the audience. And I think that came from the fact that most people were pretty satisfied that the shows that they watched got to be talked about a little more in depth.
Yep.
There is literally zero way that we can do a show once a week and cover everything and stay in an hour. I mean, that's why we run late every single Monday.
Right.
It's the one show that is so difficult to keep under an hour, right?
Yep.
So I think that was the thing that hopefully we all have gathered, all, and the powers that be that kind of decide where we go from here. But if you guys want to see daily TV talk, tweet the hell out of
Collider video.
Collider video. Just keep tweeting it. Keep tweeting it. I mean, like, if it were up to us just right now, we'd be like, hell yeah, let's do it. Let's go daily every single day. Obviously, that's what that means. But I'm serious. If you guys want to see it and you really enjoyed it, then tweet them and maybe tweet some ideas on what you guys would want to see on a daily show.
Again, I think the beautiful thing about it too is being daily. We have a lot of like testing ground to try new stuff. You know, we tried new segments, we tried games, we tried all kinds of fun stuff within the TV realm. And I forgot the guy's name on Twitter, but he tweeted me like 3 tweets and he had some really good notes about like segments and things we could do with TV. And again, if you guys have ideas, we love your suggestions and all that kind of stuff. I think again there is so much room for the show to grow and to do a ton of fun stuff that maybe they don't do on Movie Talk or we couldn't do on a weekly show. So what do you think, David?
I love the segments, you know. I mean, I felt like I was going back to school with Emma's Anime Tuesday was awesome.
That was
you know, I got the Great British Breakdown on Thursday, which was great. I got to gush about British television and why I like it so much. It's just we're every show on Collider is different. We all different styles. Movie Talk's different than TV Talk. TV Talk's different than Heroes. Heroes is different than Jedi Council. But we all have fun, you know. I think, you know, we each other, we like to play a lot, be a little goofy. So I think with Josh's show ideas, like little segments we had, we got to be goofy and play around. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Emma?
Yeah, I really enjoyed all of the different sort of games and things that we did to just kind of mix it up and break up just straight talking about TV. But there again, it was all still TV related, so it was totally relevant to the show. I mean, I think for me, and you know, Sinead, you nailed it. We got so much support from you guys. So just keep tweeting at Collider Video. Let them know how much you loved the show. I mean, you guys are already doing it. And yeah, just thank you so much for all of your support. I felt very loved and like you guys were very present and dedicated. And it's clear that we have a wonderful audience. So just, you know, keep doing what you're doing and hopefully sooner rather than later, we might be able to just talk about all the TV there is.
Yeah, I got to say, you know, I wouldn't want to do this without you guys. I think we all have an amazing chemistry together. Jason Im and John Rocco were great as well in the week, and I think the beautiful thing about it is if it goes daily and when it goes daily, there's a lot of room for the show to grow, bring on other guests, and become a hub for television talk. And I do have to say, I don't know if I want to say it's an apology, but a hilarious moment, probably the most funny moment of TV Talk last week was the actor who plays Jason Blossom tweeted at me. Josh Macuga called me creepy. I think I'm supposed to take that as a compliment, and I was like, son of a bitch, like that's not what I meant, like because most of the time he's like a dead white body with a bullet hole in his face, and then like they show his head. Regardless, I'm backpedaling. We thank you for watching the show. We love your character on Riverdale. We wish he wasn't dead. Does that do it?
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's great that he plays creepy so well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to see Jason Blossom any other way.
No,
He's supposed to be like this eerie, mystical character that we're so like, you know, obsessed with knowing about. And I think you nailed it. His name's Trevor, right?
Trevor.
Trevor.
I think he's based in LA.
Yeah, well, maybe he wants to come on
Well,
the
you
show.
should probably just come hang out with us.
Yeah, come on the show. Bring some of the other Riverdale cast members. We'll get weird. It'll be fun.
Wear the wig.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, TV Talk got cut early on Thursday, and I just want everyone to know that for my TBTV pick, I chose TBTV pick. I chose the Blue Harvest Star Wars spoof episode of Family Guy, and I was really proud of it.
That was a good episode.
Because it was May 4th. I was so proud of it. And then the stream got cut. So,
the stream got cut.
But just so you know, it was good.
It was really good. Sinead crushed that. That was one of the segments you guys didn't get to see, unfortunately. But when we go back daily again, we have so much testing ground to try out my weird ideas. So
Maybe
excited.
David shouldn't have talked forever during British freaking Bake Off.
Excuse me. My British Breakdown broke the internet. It's not my fault that it was just so well done.
I did also love that a fan on Instagram made like a graphic for TV Talk where all of us were represented by like a little image, and David was just a British flag. It was perfect. It was beautiful.
And you know, David's. I mean, from what I understand, the entire country of England is now in support of David Griffin for Prime Minister. Doesn't even live there. It's crazy. It's unbelievable. Trevor Steins. I was going to say Signs. Trevor Steins is Jason Blossom. So Trevor, thanks for watching the show. All right, let's go to our first actual news story. So 13 Reasons Why is getting a second season at Netflix.
I don't know why y'all are like such haters.
I'm
about
not
this.
haters. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm not haters.
All of you on the group text this weekend. Do you notice I didn't respond to any of it?
Yeah.
Because you're all like, it doesn't need it.
I don't know if I texted that part. I mean, how
Well,
would you
know
text?
what? That's how I read it.
Okay. No, here's the thing. We talked about it when it kind of like the week after. Should it get a second season? I say yes and no. I thought these 13 episodes were so well done and almost feels like it wrapped up and encapsulated the whole thing. But if we wanted to keep storylines going at this high school, great. I just don't know if I want to see more on the suicide of her.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's fair. Because, I mean, we were introduced to so many characters that were really compelling and we really liked. And I think there is more story to potentially tell about them. In terms of Hannah, though, if this is going to be more about her suicide, to me, it feels like there's not that much more. If they are creating more to explore, it's going to feel like, I fear it's going to feel like they're grasping at straws to be like, what else can we incorporate into her suicide story? Because I think one of the things that was so brilliant about 13 Reasons Why is the build of the whole season, where it started off and like, obviously we knew that it was going to end with the story of how she ended up killing herself, but the build up to that, there was a lot of humor. There was a lot of just more lighthearted stuff in general and sort of character building and it just kept building and building and building to the end when you saw the explicit cases of sexual assault and then her actually killing herself. So I think that they've established a strong enough world that there are potentially more stories to tell, but I'm with you, Josh, that I don't know that continuing her story specifically is gonna be as strong as the first season was.
One thing I'm thinking they could do, which would be interesting, you know how like we have Fargo is an anthology series, but it's also, it's a connected world. Like characters, either they're related to somebody or they know somebody from another season. So if they did something like that, did something vastly different than the first season, because if it's just about Clay and the boys and the girls about their healing process, that's important.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I don't want to spoil anything, but the way it ended, I feel like we started to see that heal. I mean, this photo is an example of that. We started to see that healing process begin. I don't even know if I see more of that. So unless they do something that's disconnected a little bit from the series, but also connected in a little way, and then do a story off that, I'd watch that.
Okay.
But I don't know if I want to see something that's closely related to the original. I felt like we've just done enough there.
What do you think, Sinead?
Well, they are going to do something that's closely related to the original.
Yeah.
So the story, as I've heard it, right, is that kind of the showrunner was kind of explaining that this was told from Hannah's perspective, right? And they've left all these ties open during the final episode. But now we don't really know what happened to Alex. We don't really know what the creepy photographer kid was doing and what he was planning, but it didn't look good. Yeah. We don't know how Alex got where he is. I don't want to spoil anything. Right. And we also don't know where the jock kid was going and what's next for Jess. And so they were kind of saying like, it would be really, really interesting to kind of see how their friendship with Hannah led them to those places. But I think if Netflix is smart, they will not focus on the suicide anymore because it is at an all-time like peaking point now of people trying to get this removed off of Netflix. Yeah. It's been happening since it premiered, but in the past week, it's gotten so bad. There are tons of petitions out to get this down because people are saying that this is romanticizing suicide in a way because Hannah is telling the story, and the reason for her suicide is everybody else. She blames everything else, right? Instead of, they should have done a better job of explaining that it really came down to the fact that she also had a serious case of depression. But a lot of people feel like because she's blaming all these outside factors, that there are kids, young kids, that might see that as, you know, I did this because of you. I did this because of you, instead of stopping to say, like, I need to get some help.
So interesting to me because I felt like this show did a really good job of showing that it was problematic that Hannah was blaming all these other people for her death, particularly in the episode with Clay, where she was like, well, you know, probably I shouldn't blame you because you just did what I asked you to do. Right. You know, like,
and I think it was really realistic the way they showed it. And I mean, like, I agree with you 100%. So, but But I think the concern of these people and these teachers, there was one report of a teacher saying that a student came in and was like, hey, if I happened to kill myself, would you get in trouble by like the school? Would people question it? And the teacher was like, what the hell did you just ask me?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like started with that and like teachers saying that they were hearing kids talking about suicide in a way that's very like almost like romantic, you know? And it's a little scary because these are 12, 13-year-old kids that are watching the show. So I do understand where they're coming from. So I think moving on to a second season, it would be very smart if they don't focus on just the suicide again, that they maybe make it something else about the other people involved. She can still be the center of the story, but like we've already seen it. We know how the first season ends. Let's leave that behind because it is a lot. Like it is really heavy.
Yeah. Would you? Okay. Here's a question, a completely different thing. Also, too, in this story, Diana Sun, who was the showrunner in season 1, is stepping down, and Brian Yorkie is stepping in as showrunner for season 2. I mean, it's not like a huge thing. He was a writer on every episode and credited as creator of the show. Would you rather see a second seasons of 13? I mean, obviously we're going to see it. Would you rather see a second season of 13 Reasons Why or a second season of Big Little Lies? Because it seemed to be two shows that were basically we thought would be a one-off, but they've talked about season 2 on both of those shows. Which one would you rather see?
It feels like both are just reaching. It's like, because I know with Big Little Lies, their reasoning behind it was like, was a little bit more story with, Zoe Kravitz's character. Let's kind of pull that out. And it's like, does it need another 7, 8 episodes just off that little bit of content you left? Sure. It's like Lord of the Rings. It's like, hey, there's a lot we left out. I know this is a weird comparison. There's a lot we left out of the books in the original trilogy. Let's pull that story out of the book and make a whole movie about it. It's like, we don't need to do that.
Yeah, I don't think either one of them you need to do it for. Yeah. We don't need a second season of
Sorry, but to answer your question, I'm sorry, Josh.
No.
Probably Big Little Lies.
Okay.
If I had to choose one.
Sure.
I think there's more story to tell with 13 Reasons Why, but I also think that was very intentional. Like I feel like they knew that they were sitting on a gold mine and that it was going to blow up, and so they made the season finale. They didn't have to end it in any of those ways, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, they left so many things unanswered. Like the last 5 minutes, her parents had just gotten the tapes, so it's like there's so many things that could come in a second season. So I do think there's more story to tell. But I still think I would say Big Little Lies.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm totally with you, Sinead, that I feel like, again, 13 Reasons Why, they have this very strong world building that's gone on in the first season. So, yes, there are other characters that I'm interested in seeing. But again, it just kind of goes back to my fear of like, it's going to still focus too much on Hannah's story rather than like really exploring these other characters. It's all just going to keep tying back to her. So I'm also going to say Big Little Lies, but I also feel like both of them, okay, they're based on books. They ended where the books ended.
Right.
Shouldn't it just be over?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. But
it's all about money.
It is.
In the end, it's about money. You know, it is. It's a business.
Yeah.
It's a business.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's move on and talk about last night's episode of The Leftovers on HBO.
Josh, what's the title of this episode? I want to hear you say it.
G'day, Mel.
Josh, you were practicing all morning. You're practicing.
G'day, Melbourne. No. Yeah, fucking spiders, mate. All right. Good eye, Melvin. This episode, we've been talking about them finally getting to Australia, and this episode did not disappoint. It almost felt like a ticking clock of an episode, and there was no real ticking clock to be had.
No, not really.
Right?
I mean, it started like building that tension from the very beginning, from the point that they are in the airport and Nora is like, I have global entry, where do I go? And you just felt like immediately there was this, they did such a good job of kind of like visually portraying the disconnect between Kevin and Nora that ultimately ended with them splitting off from each other at the very end of the episode. And it really just, it highlighted their lack of communication in just the most beautifully like cinematic way. And it was never like explicit scenes of them not talking to each other. Like they were not talking to each other in talking to each other. It's just, it was such brilliant writing.
And they weren't too, just how distant they were in terms of airport interaction. It's just basic human interaction. Like, I flew to Star Wars Celebration with Cobster.
Yeah.
So Cobster and I were in, and Cobster and I are not a couple. Obviously, Cobster has his own girlfriend. But
What?
weird, yeah. But what's funny is like even when Cobster comes out of security, I waited for him.
Yeah.
Like I stood there and waited for him to go through security, and we met up and we walked to the gate together.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not a couple with him, but that's the funny thing. Like Nora's just going on her way, running away.
Right.
She's just in her own world. Even when they're having sex in the bathroom, it's just like it's ugly. Like it's just like we're pounding, but like that's it. There's no emotion. I just need like to like release some energy. It's just that disconnect. It's there. You can feel it.
No, it's and you know, basically last season, and we were supposed to believe that this season, obviously not supposed to believe, but it takes place 3 years later.
Right.
So you have. But the last time we saw Nora and Kevin, they hated each other.
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, she left him. She took the baby. Like the whole thing was a complete disaster. So. Yes, at the beginning of the thing, they seem to be smiling, but we are still left with that bitter taste in our mouth.
Yeah.
And this was the episode that was like, listen, she's still around, but it's not exactly like she's...
Well, and it did boil down to like, we're not talking about all that shit that went down previously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also like the scene where Nora went off to go meet with the doctors about, you know, passing through to get to her children, and then they ended up denying her.
It was something special because she made a complete 180 that this was possible. That like, you know, she was looking for fraud, but then she realized it may not be fraud, or who knows? Because we may never see it, and I don't know if you guys think this is but is this the last time we see Nora on this show? Is this when she left to go do Fargo, or do we see her again in the old thing, or what? Because the way this episode ended, with the rain coming down and her in that room, you can't pick a better. If we're talking about music, and they did play the Take on Me, because that video is about people crossing over from, it's cheesy, but a comic book to
the
real
real
life.
world, yeah.
That's sort of like what she's talking about doing. It almost felt like this was a perfect swan song for Nora and how it kind of ended.
Yeah, I think that if we didn't see her again, I wouldn't be disappointed, because I do feel like they put a nice conclusion on her story.
Yeah.
I mean,
What do you think, Dave?
I think we'll see her again.
Okay.
I think we'll see her again before as an old woman. I mean, I've seen the first episode. We'll see her as an old woman. I think we'll see her before then. I don't think we're finished with her story. Carrie Coon's too important, too integral to the story. Just kind of let her go and Kevin go off on his journey.
Okay.
I think next week it's going to be mostly a Matt episode, which I'm really excited to see. But yeah, everything, the music. This show, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Everything about it, but I don't feel depressed after I'm done watching it. Like I'm just like, wow, that was just a great hour of television.
Well, and then the question, I mean, the moment too at the very end of the episode when Kevin Jr. leaves the hotel and comes face to face with Kevin Sr. That I got chills just talking about it. But then it also begs the question of, since Kevin set the Book of Kevin on fire in the hotel room and it was burning down, and as he's leaving, they're like, "Oh, didn't you hear about the explosion?" The question is, does he think that Nora is dead?
You see him looking up.
When he says to his
keeps looking
father,
up,
"Yes, I'm alone," or is it that he's like mentally just cut her out?
I think it might be a combination of both. I don't know. I think he's really scared at that moment.
Well, and we didn't even talk about Evie.
Yeah. That was, I mean, you know, he sees things.
Yes.
He projects, he sees other people, but that was such a creepy storyline. And I mean, as soon as it started happening, and you know that she took a picture and she reacted to it, she was like, all right, how do I break this to Kevin?
Because
you know.
not her.
Yeah. Because he said he's having a psychotic break, but we know that Kevin's had visions before, and we think, because all we know is his perspective, that we assume it's true. When he's in that hotel, that happened.
Yeah.
When he pushed her go down the well, we think that happened anyway, or was it all a psychotic break?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think so. There's got to be some truth there.
This show mentally messes
It does.
with the brain a lot because, I mean, it's a real thinker of a show, and that's probably why a lot of people that watch the first season may or may not have stayed on board. And if you did stop in the first season, go to the second season and get to the season, this show is one like 30-hour movie.
Yeah.
It really is.
It is.
It's a 3-act structure, and it's
Big thing, Josh. You got your answer as to why the guy burned himself in the desert.
Yeah.
That question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember the cancer thing? I thought he was a doctor.
Right.
But he wasn't.
Right.
He was just a guy going through that test, and that freaked him out so much that he killed himself. But I guess Nora didn't go quite that far. She wants revenge now.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll see what happens.
Ooh, that's such a creepy callback too, and that moment where the woman hands her the baby. Because look, when you
yes.
when I did my study abroad in Italy, there's like this class they make you take about assimilating into cultures and try and like find common ground. It's like a 5-hour class, and they were like, you know, there are a lot of gypsies all throughout Europe that will throw babies at you. And like if you catch the baby, they'll run away, and now you have a baby. And that scared the living shit out of me. I was like, there was no way people do that. Like there's no gypsies out there throwing babies at people. So every time I saw a gypsy when I was over there, whether it was like Amsterdam or Italy or Spain, I was like, don't throw your baby at me. I would just like walk along and be like, get away. I don't want to, get away. So that whole thing when that went.
Literally terrifying.
Yeah, I know, right? So young 20-year-old Josh Macuga, just fresh off blacking out in college, his only thought was every day was like, it's the day going to be the day that they throw a baby at you. So it never happened, thank God. My dad did get robbed when he came to visit, but that was as close as we came to any kind of gypsy activity. Regardless, when Nora gets the baby, that's all I could think of. I was like, don't take the baby. Whatever you do, run. Close your arms. Get on the bus. So
I love her thing like discrimination's not right.
Yes.
Yells at the guy who drops the baby back and runs away.
That was great.
yeah. Okay, let's
right.
rock and roll here.
Moving on to another thinker of a show.
Yes.
So season 2 of Sense8 dropped on Netflix over the weekend. I did not get a chance to watch all of it. I have watched 4 episodes of it so far. But basically, if you guys have never seen Sense8 or aren't familiar
This
with
is your sales pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is Sense8?
So Sense8 is it's an interesting story. It's basically about people. There's 8 people who all share this intense psychic connection with one another. They were basically like born, quote unquote, from another Sense8. And at that moment, they were all like connected to each other. And it was them. The first season was very much them kind of discovering this psychic connection that they all have. And Sense8, it's by the Wachowskis and also Michael Straczynski, who did Babylon 5.
Wow.
So it's a science fiction series. And
It's amazing you don't watch this show.
yeah, I think you would love this show, David.
Okay.
It is,
Okay.
and the thing about it is they were
David just walks off set and just starts watching.
Yeah.
He's like, see you guys. That's it.
The past like 3 minutes you've been talking, all I hear is like, oh.
That's true.
Yeah. So when the Wachowskis made this show, they wanted to very explicitly explore themes that you don't necessarily see in science fiction too much. So there's a lot of stuff with like politics and religion and sexuality and gender identity. And it's a beautifully shot show because all of the characters are supposed to be from different parts of the world. So, you know, you have like Capheus, who lives in Africa and is obsessed with Jean-Claude Van Damme and like drives a bus that's been painted with like Van Damme on the side. It's
That's
awesome.
cool.
And then Soonbak, like the Korean girl who's a kickboxer, and then there's the Indian girl, and then there's an Icelandic girl who lives in the UK. It's great.
Kinda like Heroes, very global,
exactly.
like
They're
Heroes.
very global,
Yeah.
like Heroes. And they film all over the world.
Oh, wow.
It's great. And again, like the first season was very much about them sort of discovering this psychic connection that they have to each other. And what's really interesting about Sense8 is, yes, there is definitely this kind of metaphysical sci-fi conflict with this guy Whispers, who is a Sense8, and he's able to like get into their heads and kind of destroy them from within. And he's using other Sense8s to like hunt down and murder the Sense8s. He's played by Terrence Mann also, which if any of you
yeah, great
guys, as an American musical theater fan, grew up with Terrence Mann.
There you go.
He was Mr. Mistopheles in Cats, and
I always think of Terrence Mann as the author, played by James Earl Jones in Field of Dreams. But that's not.
Yeah, no,
yes.
he's Javert in the original Broadway cast of Les Miserables. Like this, he's a big deal.
Musicals, Josh. Those are
Yeah.
musicals.
I was gonna say,
those are
I just
musicals.
keep waiting for him to
This
sing
is
on the
basically
show,
me going like, in 1995, Greg Lloyd was the best Steelers
Yes,
linebacker.
exactly.
Like, he played so and so, and this. I'm like, oh.
but again, like the thing that's really interesting about Sense8 is the fact that it has so much to do with just them learning to like utilize this psychic connection, because through their connection they're able to access each other's knowledge, each other's skills, so that they're like a superhuman basically, because they share this one consciousness.
Okay.
So there's a great scene in the beginning of season 2. So one of the characters, Lito, is like a gay like Spanish soap star, basically. I mean, he's more of like an action movie star, but there's shades of telenovela in there for sure. But he
Sci-fi telenovela. Sign
it's
David
great.
the F
great.
up on
No, it's
that
great.
one.
But anyway, so and there's a whole storyline of like with his sexuality of like what it means for him to publicly come out, and we start to see sort of like the unfortunate repercussions of that in this season. But there's this wonderful scene where he's being interviewed by a local reporter. It's this big celebration. It's a premiere of his new film. And in the previous season, they had shot some incriminating photos of him with a man. And so she's basically asking him about that. And there's this awesome scene, because obviously we see a lot of them like sharing each other's like fighting abilities and things. But this is a scene where we see them like all connecting to create this like beautiful response to her like nasty trying to get him to come out on camera. And meanwhile, Fyffe is being interviewed over in Africa by a local like news person as well about him glorifying male white heroes, and he also ends up with just this glorious response that is the shared wisdom of everybody. So it's a really interesting show. One of my favorite characters on it is actually Freeman Guyman, who played Martha Jones on Doctor Who, plays the girlfriend of one of the main characters, and she's been a lot more involved this season. And just the portrayal of that relationship in particular is so beautiful because they're just so supportive of one another, and just to see her like get fully on board with all this crazy stuff that's going on with her girlfriend who's like sharing a consciousness with all these other people. It's a really, really interesting story, and the cinematography is beautiful. It's just really
So when
good,
you say
interesting sci-fi.
they share like each other's fighting styles and stuff, does that mean they're sort of like fighting each other at the same time?
No. It's like Fyffe at one point in the first season like comes under attack, and he's like able to tap into like Soonbok's amazing like kickboxing skills because
okay.
again like
That's cool.
they share a consciousness, so they're able to tap into everything that the others know and have learned and are capable of doing.
And the Korean girl, that's the one. She's from Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her. I
Yeah,
do like
she's
her.
great.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a really good series. Highly recommend it. I can't wait to watch the rest of season 2.
Season 2.
That's Emma's.
Sense8 is. Yeah, that's Emma's
my
pick.
pick of the week.
That was a pretty good pick of the week there, Emma. That is honestly in my 5 queue of things that I need to watch. So thank you, Emma, for watching. And I know the TV Talk audience really appreciates because they've been tweeting us.
Why don't you guys talk about Sense8?
Hey, dummies! Sense8! So we got it. The lovely
done.
Emma Fyffe, which you know she will break down in every single detail. She crushed it. Okay. Before we move on to our next one, so we'll do this, then highs and lows, and then live Twitter questions. So tweet those questions, hashtag them, Clouder TV Talk, get them over Sinéad. She's curating like a boss right now, and she seems to be crushing it over there. She may have passed out. We're not sure. She's still here.
You said she's curating like a boss, and I'm literally just like sitting.
Yeah. Daydreaming about. How were the MTV Awards last night before we move on to the next one? Were they good?
They were good. Actually, I had a good time watching it.
Adam was good?
Adam was good. He's a nut job.
Yeah, he's crazy.
But he was good. I'm sorry, you guys. I messed up my microphone.
You were good?
Okay, thanks, Cody. Yeah, it was good. I thought he did a good job.
Okay. Was there any like one skit or thing that stood out that sort of was a viral moment of the night?
I mean, like he did like parodies of Stranger Things and Get Out, and they did like a Beauty and the Beast opening.
Nice.
Trevor Noah won for best host, which is cool.
Cool.
And
Good
he
South
beat out
African boy.
yes,
Yeah.
and making us South Africans proud.
Yeah.
And he beat out like Ellen, and so that was a really cool moment.
Yeah.
And then
How do we get you on there, like best host for Collider TV Talk? You're South
well,
African.
if it's gonna go to one South African, it's definitely gonna be Trevor Noah. But I'm okay with it.
Don't sell yourself short.
It's
Sinéad.
fine.
In another year, it'll be Sinéad.
Yeah, it's
He's still got that strong South African accent, so he deserves it. But what was I going to say? Stranger Things won Best Show. Blackish also won for like Best American Story.
Nice.
And they were up against a few of other really good ones. And then Millie Bobby Brown also won.
Oh, cool.
And she
great.
cried
Did she
her
win?
eyes out.
Oh, did she?
Oh my gosh, yeah, because she's been nominated a bunch of times, but she hasn't won anything
Okay.
yet.
Cool.
But she's so funny. There's like one part of her speech where she was like, she lists these 2 women, and she's like, "You guys are seriously like my best friends. I don't even feel like you're my publicists." And I don't even feel like you're my publicists. And I was like, Oh.
I had an encounter with Millie Bobby Brown at Salt Lake Comic Con last year, back in the green room. She was wandering around, and there was this little baby hanging on her arm, and she's just like walking around the green room with this baby.
An actual baby?
Yeah, an actual baby.
Somebody threw a baby at her.
Yeah, somebody threw a baby at her.
Josh's worst nightmare is like, oh God, no babies.
Don't.
So she's just like toddling around, and for whatever reason, she like stops right by me, and we make eye contact, and she goes, "I'm obsessed with this child." And I was like, whose baby is that? And she goes, "I've no idea," and just keeps walking.
That's a gypsy. He's gonna throw that baby at somebody. Man, that
Wait,
is.
so how did the gypsies get? I'm sorry. How did the gypsies get the baby?
I don't know. They're like
they
theirs.
their babies to
They're
begin
their
with?
babies.
Well,
or
maybe
like
they think
they're
you're gonna like give them a better life in America.
Yeah, that's well. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they
you know.
literally they have a baby. They decide they don't want the baby. So if they just give you a baby and then
Yeah.
run away.
Or sometimes they throw the baby at you and then they scream like, "This person stole my baby," and they're like, "Give me money, or I'm gonna go to the cops." So then you have to give them money, so then they don't call the cops.
Now,
if
like when you
stole
say
their
throw,
baby.
is it like Tom Brady would hand off to a running back, or is it like a
Right.
like a
Or like a
toss?
football.
Is this
Yeah,
like,
like a football
are we
toss,
like
yeah.
bumping a volleyball?
Is it like a 5-yarder,
Are
like
we
little dump pass?
spiraling a
the
football?
way that they described it in the class, it was like from me to David. Can you go to the wide real quick, Cody? All right, so from me to David, they would just go like and like drop it in you.
Dang,
Oh
you
my
got some
God.
quick reflex. That baby
Man.
might
I
not-
know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Stomach
Wow.
just like
I know.
get a
I
little
know.
thing.
Don't be throwing babies, people. That's your advice from good old
Don't
Josh and
throw
Collider
babies.
TV Talk. Don't be
Unreal.
throwing babies. Speaking of throwing babies, let's go to American Gods. The review of American Gods.
Transition.
No babies were thrown during this episode.
Guys, I went to Segway school. So American Gods last night.
In my head, I was just thinking like
The
you on a
segue?
segue,
At Segway
but I
College?
get it now.
American Gods, this show is quickly becoming it's my favorite. I love this show. This
so
episode
good.
last night, the actor that plays the same character in every movie, he plays the angry
Pete Stormare.
Russian. What's his name?
Pete Stormare. Stormare.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
Pete
if I know.
Stormare.
Peter.
He's
Peter's
he's awesome in Bad Boys 2, which is everybody's favorite movie, obviously.
Armageddon?
He
he was a Russian cosmonaut in Armageddon. Yeah.
He's the
Yeah.
same character in every show. Well, he plays the same character in American Gods,
Yeah.
and it is so creepy because it's like most of these shows, and we talk about it all the time. I still have no idea really what's going on or where the plot of the show is.
Yeah,
but
I mean that's very much the
Totally enthralled.
way that's very much the way the novel is too, where
Okay.
it's like basically Shadow is being led around by Wednesday, just meeting all these old gods, and he doesn't really know what's happening,
Right.
and it's very sort of subtle in the beginning, the allusions to like what characters from the various mythologies from Europe that they're based on, or Africa in the case of Anansi, Mr. Nancy.
That was an
Which
awesome
was,
opening.
Holy moly,
Awesome opening,
what a
yeah.
great opening. Orlando Jones in that like plaid suit. And,
you're talking about a suit that I am jealous of.
Oh,
That's
that
a
is
suit.
You
such
look
a
great,
Josh
yeah.
Macuga
Holy
suit.
Yeah.
Oh my
moly.
God.
I literally screenshotted it because I was watching it by myself. I screenshot it, I sent it to Amanda, my fiance. I was like, find this suit. Find it immediately. I want it so bad. But yeah, that I mean, the opening in the ship and that whole thing of it,
And
Yeah.
I loved too when he said, he's like, oh yeah, angry is good. Angry gets shit done. I
Yeah.
was like,
Goddamn
you
right.
tell him, Orlando.
The show was we're only going to get 8 episodes this season. It hasn't been renewed yet. I'm pretty sure it's going to get renewed. With a
Yeah.
cast like this, it's going to get renewed. But we don't know that much about the gods. Like I said, I've watched 2 more episodes than this, and I still don't know that much. It's like every episode they introduce you to a few new gods here and
Yeah,
there. We got
yeah.
a little this episode. We got a
Yeah.
little bit of Gillian Anderson,
Oh man.
which was so cool in the black and white. You
is
know,
that
she-
who that
That's
was?
Gillian
That's
Anderson.
Fox Mulder. I mean, that's Dana Scully.
Dana Scully,
Fox
yeah.
Mulder's David Duchovny.
David
Sorry.
Duchovny.
I'm looking
getting
at
my
him.
names
Yeah.
Who is that?
Gillian
Who is that
Anderson.
person?
She's
Oh
been she has
my
aged
God.
beautifully.
She hasn't aged.
She
At
hasn't.
all.
I mean,
No,
and,
no, no.
and she was great in Hannibal.
Oh my God,
I mean,
she was great in Hannah, and she was so unbelievable as media, and like what a strong choice to like have her as Lucy just talking directly to Shadow, and then her like going across
What is
all
the
of the
character's
screens.
name?
Media.
Media.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, because basically all of the new gods are like the things that people worship now.
Got it,
so
got
it's
it.
like Technical Boy is
That's-
the internet
yeah.
and things like that. And Technical Boy is the one that's the most different than the character in the
And we
book.
saw him episode 1.
Yes, but it makes sense because
That's been a few years.
technology
It's been
has
a few years,
progressed
yeah.
so much since the book
Right.
was written. So it
Okay.
makes total sense that they updated that
That's
character
why
a
Gillian
lot.
Anderson said, like, look, I've been around not as long as some. Like, she's not as old as Mr. Wednesday,
Right,
but she's
right.
been around the block a
Yeah,
little bit. Because
yeah.
TV hasn't been around as long as
Yeah, for sure.
Mr.
Yeah.
Wednesday has. But I also love Ricky Whittle's character, Moonshadow, just kind of giving in. Like, I love how the Slavic god kept saying, like, it's good. It's good.
It's
It's
good.
good.
Oh,
and then,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
the end, he's just
Chernobog.
like, look, if happens, and look, there's people on TVs talking to me, there's people roaming around being crazy, like, it's good. I'll play checkers.
Yeah.
Like, it's good. Let's do this.
Right.
Like, I'm in.
And the cutaways of him swinging that giant sledgehammer to
Yeah.
kill those cows is something.
Yes.
And the imagery of him holding that bloody hammer.
Yes.
Looks so much like Hannibal.
It
Because
does.
David Slade again directing this
Yeah,
episode.
the,
so much like
the
Hannibal.
blood is so. Yeah, it was. It was such a beautiful moment of he and Shadow playing checkers and him being like, if I beat you, I bash your brains in with. I get
Yeah.
to bash
It's
your head
good.
in with
It's
this
good.
hammer.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, and then exactly that cutaway to like, here is the hammer like covered in blood as it was in like days of yore. Because
Right.
basically, in Slavic mythology, there's Chernobog and his brother Beelzebub, and Chernobog is like the god of darkness, essentially. If you've ever seen Fantasia,
Yeah.
the Disney Fantasia, that the very last scene, the night on Bald Mountain, that's Chernobog. Like that.
okay.
that
The guy coming
devil
out of the
creature,
volcano.
Yes.
Oh, I love that one. That's my favorite one.
Yeah,
I love
so
that one. Yeah.
that's who this character is supposed to be.
And he
but
alludes to
now-
his brother.
Yes, exactly.
But sounds like he hasn't seen his brother in a long
He
time,
hasn't,
so
yeah.
we don't know.
And so now this is him. Like, it's so interesting to see how these like gods that people used to fear or worship like integrate into.
Yeah.
They're
this
struggling. He's working in a
American
slaughterhouse.
society.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're not rich because I like how the woman was saying back in the day we used to have servants. There's no servants anymore. I got to make my own food. I love how she said learning is beneath me.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, learning is beneath me.
Right.
She's
that
not
was
going to learn.
amazing. Yeah.
The meat will be tough. The potatoes will be soft. I'm not a very
The
good
characters
cook.
are just so colorful. Are you enjoying this, Josh?
Oh, are
Like,
you
yeah.
kidding me? This is something that was built for my brain. You know what I mean? I love mythology, and I love where this show is going, and the fact that there's been a lot of shows that we've watched recently that I haven't known where they're going, but I've really enjoyed the steps along the way. Legion, this. Fargo thus far,
Yeah.
Leftovers.
Yeah,
they're
Leftovers
these
for
very
sure.
taboo,
Yeah.
100% taboo. The night of a little bit almost, but this one especially with how it's shot and just the little bit of blood when he is scrubbing the house, and then I got to tell you that veiny giant donger that they showed, and then they showed it again in the frame. I was like, all right, like. I get it,
Yeah.
but I didn't see that coming, and I was kind of like, all right. But you got to. I mean, you have to know where that guy's psyche is, and you have to know where he is. Of like the woman that I loved my whole life, that I was here and for. She died with another man's dick in his mouth,
Yeah.
in her mouth.
Yeah.
You have to know that, like, he's seeing that. That's why he went through the phone, because he wanted the proof, and he got it immediately.
He even got a picture of what it looks like.
I know.
Yeah, that's rough. He's not doing well.
It's not the best. But I got to tell you, if you guys aren't watching American Gods, tune in. It's really one of those shows that I think is going to be 3 to 4 seasons of incredible TV. So thank you, Neil Gaiman, and thank you, Starz, for finally greenlighting this, because I know that there have been so many incantations of them, either a movie or a TV series, that hasn't gone until now. So let's get into highs and lows. Sinéad, would you like to throw us into some high lows? What do you think?
Sure. All right. So, Attack on Titan.
Oh man, you got to throw the spoiler warning up for this
Yeah,
one
big
because
spoiler
this
warning.
was
Nice work, Cody. That was real quick on
a major
that.
episode. Big reveal this episode.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. It was thrown away so casually. Also,
So you gotta realize we're watching this in Japanese,
Right. Yeah.
with subtitles.
right.
There's a big reveal, and there's 2 conversations going on at the same time.
Yes, it's so true.
There's a group of people on top of a wall. We'll call it the Great Wall for Josh to
Yeah.
reference.
Okay.
That kind of
Yeah,
keeps
that's-
out the Titans, right?
Cool.
So they're done with a big mission. They're gonna go their separate ways. So one group's like, "Hey, let's go over here." And it's like they're having a conversation. So you see those subtitles.
Yeah, exactly.
And then everybody's like, "Hey, Aaron, like come over here. Let's have a conversation." And all of a sudden they drop the biggest reveal that we've had in the whole
so
season.
Marco and Bertold were basic. R.I.P. Marco.
Reiner.
Sorry, Reiner and Bertold have. They basically have a conversation where they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go back to our hometown because we've always known that they were from the same town. We knew they had some history." They're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go back to our town." Meanwhile, the rest of the scouting regiment are walking the other way, And they're like, Aaron, come hang out with us. Hey, you want to be in our Titan club? Because like I'm the Colossal Titan and he's the Armored Titan. So
huge reveal. Those are the two biggest Titans that we've seen. They're massive.
Yeah.
They seem to be the strongest, except for this new Beast Titan, but they're really strong.
And at first, like, so basically Reiner's the one that tells Aaron that he's the Armor Titan and Bertold is the Colossal Titan.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron has a moment of being like, what? No, that can't possibly be true.
Yeah.
And they even, and
like Mikasa kind of like stops halfway, like turns around, like, wait, what are you guys talking about? What did I hear?
Yeah. And then her trying to like stop. Like, I love that Aaron was like, this is probably not true, but Mikasa is just like, nope, and like immediately goes to attack them.
Which is good. It sounds like they were gonna, I guess their plan, they said, look, originally we were supposed to wipe out humanity. Maybe we don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah.
But then once the attack happened,
They're
Bertolt
like,
was like, oh, are we going? Like, are we doing
we got
this
no
now?
choice.
We doing this? And then it just, all hell breaks
transformed.
loose. Yeah.
Yep.
And then it just cuts, of course.
Yep.
Episode over.
And in the very end, Aaron bites his hand and becomes the Berserker Titan that he is.
Yeah.
So.
Ding, ding, ding.
Whew, it was
Good show.
Cool. It was a lot.
Good show.
It was good.
Okay, what's next? Sorry, I know it sounds amazing. I didn't mean to like shrug you guys off.
No, not at all.
Come around like that. Okay, good. Yeah.
All right, The Last Kingdom.
David.
Oh,
Take
that's
it
me.
away.
Did you watch the whole thing?
No, but I watched the first 3 episodes, and it's fantastic. Uhtred of Bebbanburg, Uhtred, son of Uhtred, he's a son of Ragnar.
Oh, nice.
Adopted son of Ragnar. So trying to reclaim his kingdom. It's a beautifully shot show. Watch it. Like I keep saying this over and over again. If you like Vikings, just think of like Vikings like 50 years later. It's that story.
So
and
far,
it's
how are you
great.
going to compare season 2 to season
Oh,
1?
it's just as good, if not better. I'm only 3 episodes in out of 8 episodes. It's worth watching.
Bang.
You'd like it. If you
I
like
know.
Vikings, you'd like
no,
Last
I watched
Kingdom.
the pilot, and
Oh, okay.
it just I was right in the middle of Vikings, so I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to finish Vikings and then go to Last Kingdom.
Yeah.
So that's definitely in there.
Definitely check it out.
Another show coming back, The Kingdom, on Audience Network. It's about UFC.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
an amazing
That
show.
has
Really well
the
done.
guy from Captain America in there.
Frank Grillo.
Yeah, Frank Grillo, yeah.
All right. What's next?
Doctor Who.
Oh yeah,
Haunted House.
Haunted House episode. Doctor Who does a lot of kind of horror episodes, and this was a great one. I do want to give a quick Twitter shout out to at MK Songbird on Twitter, who corrected David and myself on the girl who is in Sensei is not the same girl that's in Pacific Rim. That's Riko Kikuchi, and it's Duna Bay. So she's a Korean actress. Sorry.
Don't even
about that.
begin to quiz Emma Fyffe on K-drama or Korean actresses. Girl knows her shit.
Yeah, so apologies for that. But yeah, moving back into Doctor Who, it was such a great, I mean, this season has been so strong. I love Bill. I'm just so on board with her. It's so fun to have like a companion who is like still interested in living her life, because so much of this was her being like, no, I gotta like live in this house with this cheap rent with these other college kids that I don't know, but that's like part of being a human girl in her early 20s.
Of course,
like,
there's something wrong with it.
Oh, of course there's something wrong
I feel
with
like I
it.
wish I had like a niece or nephew, like a younger person I could watch it with. I like it, but it feels perfect for like somebody who's, I don't know, 10 to 13.
Yeah, I agree.
David just got creepy. I wish
Was that
I
creepy?
A
Oh,
younger
was it-
person
Yeah.
to watch
Sorry.
this.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I agree. Like
Stranger danger.
Yeah,
No,
I feel
sorry.
like this is perfect for sort of that like 10 to 16 demographic,
Right.
if you will. Because I mean, even in this episode, it was so, they like killed everybody off. Spoilers. And then
Everybody's dead.
But then in the end,
Real quick spoiler. Nice work, Cody.
in the end, but in the end, like they did something to reverse all of that.
Yeah.
So it all kind of worked out.
They're all
okay
alive.
in the end.
Put up. They're back, Cody. They're back. Oh, good. We're good. We're good.
Doctor Who's a happy show for the
It
most
is.
part.
Yeah, it is.
It's not-
It is
it's
mostly a happy
It's not
show,
the
but-
leftovers.
but yeah.
Or 13 Reasons Why.
All right. What's
Yeah.
next, Sinead?
Next up is Silicon Valley.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch Veep last night because I watched American Gods 2.5 times. So I made sure that I like got it. Like I rewound, I was like, God, this is too good. I gotta watch this again. I'm like, am I missing something? Are there eggs somewhere? I don't even know what I'm seeing. Do you know what I mean? So I watched it again.
Just
and
eggs.
thus,
Not Easter eggs, just eggs,
just
in,
eggs
general,
in general.
somewhere in the episode.
As I like to call them, the hidden eggs. Silicon Valley it's creepily so accurate to what I think actually happens in Silicon Valley, in like that weird tech world where one person thinks of a really decent app idea, and then forever they're like, yo, this is the guy that thought of this. And then
Similarity,
app was
yeah.
relevant for like 2 months. So
No one has anybody killed.
Nobody
in the
has.
Do they?
yeah. Really funny dynamics. That show's just always spot on. So
Probably my favorite part, I love that Dinesh went on a date with a girl and they shared a connection about their hate of Guilfoyle.
Yeah, Guilfoyle.
Yeah,
and
that
then
was
he
awesome.
finds out she is a famous
true hacker,
that
yeah.
she could take his whole life down.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's amazing. All right, what's next, Sinead?
The White Princess.
White Princess has been great. I know Josh and I both saw last week's episode. We haven't seen Sunday's episode yet, but it's just a fantastic show. So, I mean, where we are right now in the story, it's not really a spoiler because this is history. It's in history books. Arthur was just born.
Yeah.
Arthur is Henry VIII's older brother, who dies when he's 15. I don't know what the books are. Maybe he'll live a different life. Maybe he'll live longer. I don't know what's going to, because it's historical fiction. But it's cool. I love the dynamic between Queen Elizabeth right now and then Henry VII.
I know.
It's changing. They're realizing that, look, our parents brought us into power. We could have been happy just being regular people, and here we are. Like, do we need to be enemies? Maybe we can be friends. I don't know.
I got to give it up to what is the actress's name that
Cromer or
played Catelyn
something?
Stark? No, that played Catelyn Stark.
Fairley.
Michelle Fairley.
Michelle Fairley. Okay. She is incredible in Game of Thrones. In this series, she has totally transformed herself. And basically
hate her.
playing, I know,
yeah, I hate
basically
her.
playing the exact same kind of thing, like a queen obsessed with her son, da-da-da-da-da. Unbelievably good actress. God, like she carries this show. It's so well
She's good,
done.
yeah.
Just intense. I like it. White Princess. Way to go in the British there, David.
Yeah, it's good stuff, right? Yeah, see?
He knows his British history.
I do.
Shenasty. What's
The
next?
Sun.
So, Son, real quick, fast, great series on AMC right now. This is a mini series with Pierce Brosnan, based off a very good book from about 4 or 5 years ago. Again, Collider Book Talk, read it. Pierce Brosnan, it's a decade-spanning story,
Yeah.
and it cuts. So you're going to have Pierce Brosnan as young. He plays Eli McCullough. They're a big, powerful Texas family. You're basically seeing the rise to prominence in Texas. You see him as a little guy. He's been kidnapped by the Comanches. You see how he interacts with those people. You see him as Pierce Brosnan, an older man. And it just kind of jumps back and forth between those two time periods. It's very fascinating.
Did you ever see that miniseries? I don't know if you want. Did you ever see the Hatfield McCoy's
Texas
one with-
Hatfield McCoy's is good.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's good.
McCoy's,
Is it
yeah.
Bill Pullman?
No, it was Bill Paxton,
Paxton.
And Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner, yeah.
Yeah.
That was very good.
Yeah,
That was about two big families. This is like that. There's two families, but it's a Mexican family and an American family, Texas family.
wow.
So it's a little different. It's not two white people going
Right.
at it. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. What's next, Sinead?
Gamora.
Man, am I the only one watching?
I watched the first
I have
season.
not seen it.
Man.
No.
Okay, so the hard thing about Gamora
Is it still
that
2 hour chunks?
2 hour chunks.
Jeez.
So Sundance releases 2 episodes. That is a 2 hour chunk.
That's a lot of subtitles.
It's a lot of subtitles. This show, man, I'm putting this up there in my top 5 ever of organized
Really?
crime.
Oh,
dramas.
wow.
The movie was
obviously-
excellent when it came out several years ago. Yeah.
It's a very dirty, depressing, no holds barred. Nobody, it's a really, really difficult show to watch because listen, I'm Italian. My grandparents were born there, so I have a special tie to the country. But this show makes you never want to go there, like ever want to go to where the Gomorrah is, where it takes place, which is in Naples, which has a very, very rich organized crime going on right now, and it's all based around the drug trade, heroin, cocaine, and how it is ruining these cities and these towns and the people that run it and the dons and everything. It's just a very sickening show, but I can't stop watching it. And it's like and when I'm done watching it, honestly, I will turn on Veep or Silicon Valley. Like I have to pace out
something
my
happy.
TV because I need a
Yeah.
palate cleanser. It was like watching Taboo. After Taboo, I had to watch something nice.
Yeah, Taboo's brutal. That's why I like The White Princess, because it's like historical fiction. Everybody's very clean.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
outfits are fantastic. It's not realistic, but it's nice to look at.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Gamora. But I really recommend checking it out because if you like organized crime, this is so real. It's not Sopranos, which is a little sexy. Gamora, there is nothing sexy about this show. Nothing at all. All right, last one, Sinead.
Jamestown. Slated.
All right, so this awesome British dude told me that Jamestown sucks.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I saw
David.
that. I heard
It
that.
actually
I have
got-
not watched
it.
it
got
yet.
slated by the British
But
press.
it was already renewed for a second season.
Yeah, which is crazy. Apparently, I don't know, but so I'm looking forward to watching this simply from this one tweet from this dude, and I'm gonna start using the word slated more because in British,
yeah.
in proper English, slated is like crucified by
Right,
the
like
media.
panned.
crushed.
It got
panned.
dissed.
Yeah,
Oh, it sounds almost like a positive thing. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
slated.
It's slated for next season.
Yes,
No,
exactly.
It got
That's
slated,
right.
mate. It got slated. All right. That's
Cool,
how I
love
offend
it.
all the British fans. Oh,
But they still want David to be their
They
prime
still
minister.
do. Dancing around.
I'm coming over.
Dancing in Love Actually too. David is the prime minister.
Actually,
Dancing in the. All right, let's do some live Twitter questions. What do you say, Shanasti? What are you hearing out there in the Twitter land?
Okay.
Thank you guys for watching today, by the way. Really,
All right. Well, you mentioned MK Songbird earlier, right?
Yes.
All right. So his name is Grant. Grant says, "How many great shows will Cinemax have to release before they start getting wider recognition, i.e., The Nick, Quarry, Outcast?"
They need to change. They just need to just change the name to
I was gonna
HBO.
say- Yeah,
it's all
exactly.
HBO.
Yeah.
It's owned
In
by
my
HBO.
head, they will forever be
Skinemax.
Yeah.
And it's sad. I don't like making fun of them, but I'm sorry. When you're 12 years old, and
That's
you're
what
flipping
happens
through
when,
the
what happens
channel,
when you're a male and you're young and you know somebody has premium cable at 9 p.m. That comes on. You got to turn to Skinemax,
Yeah.
and that's what shaped so many
Yeah.
young men, unfortunately, in America, and that's who we are.
It's
so
okay.
Skinemax.
I did
Yeah.
it too.
You did it too?
I knew that Cinemax.
Oh.
I could see some.
Wow, all right. Sinead was watching the softcore.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Parts, so,
Nothing
you know.
like Lord of the G Strings, one of my
Okay.
favorite parodies on Skinemax.
Or you
Yeah.
think you're watching a regular old Lifetime movies, what most of them look like.
Yeah, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden,
All of
they're-
a
Boobs.
sudden, there's
Yep.
just titties in the living room.
and they're doing like the fake spoiler alert. There's boobs. Spoiler alert. But I will say, The Nick and Banshee are two of my favorite shows that
Quarry.
have come out, and Quarry
Great
was
first season,
fantastic.
yeah.
Some of my favorite shows that have come out in the last 5 to 8 years have been on Cinemax.
Yeah, I mean, it's there. Just that it's called Cinemax,
Yeah,
so no one.
I think it's true what you said, Sinead. Like, they just need to rebrand.
Just be HBO 5
Sure.
because you got HBO.
if the
2.
Nick was on HBO, it would have won so many more
oh,
awards.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. All right, Sinead, next.
All right. Standing Bear. You and your accent.
Sinead, next.
Good day.
Standing Bear says.
Oh.
How?
I was gonna give his handle, but it's also at @standing_bear. 21.
Nice. Staying on brand. Staying
Love
on
it.
brand.
What was your very first binge watch before it was a thing? Mine was The OC and Freaks and Geeks. Good
Oh,
times.
nice.
Those are good binges.
Freaks and Geeks was definitely an early binge. I will say for me, my first binge was The Wire because I didn't get into The Wire until season 3. So I binged season 1 and 2 to get to season 3. I also binged the first 2 seasons of Arrow to get to season 3. So that, I remember binging Arrow, and that's 23, 22 episodes a season.
Yeah.
I binged Arrow over a Christmas break by myself because I was single at the time in Pittsburgh alone and just sat there and watched Arrow. And then I was like, I'm going to start Googling bow and arrows. And that's when I was like, all right, let's take it easy.
For me, I actually binge watched a fair amount of anime as a kid because eventually I discovered a place where I could get bootleg DVDs of entire seasons of things.
cool.
This is how you had to consume anime in the 1990s.
Yeah.
No Crunchyroll.
No Crunchyroll, no. So for me, I want to say the first thing I really remember binge watching is Revolutionary Girl Utena, which is still one of my favorite series to this day.
Me too.
For me, it would have been. I remember it was after Welcome Weekend at Central Michigan University, where I was a freshman. And you can imagine what Welcome Weekend is. So I was nursing a hangover, and my friend had the first couple seasons of Sopranos on DVD. So we sat there, got a large pizza. My roommate and I just watched a bunch of Sopranos. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's a good binge
Yeah,
right
Sopranos and pizza is a good way to
there.
nurse a hangover.
I know. All right, Sinead.
It's awesome.
Josh, well, I gotta say this one first. So, Mike at Wayne Corp or Core.
Oh, Wayne Corp, yeah.
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 I was told to let the baby hit the floor because someone is actually trying to pick your pocket.
Oh, so it's a fake.
interesting. So they'd be like, they'd do this, and while you're excited, like, whoa, reach around, grab it, and then.
Or maybe they throw a fake baby at you.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
it's not a real
You
baby.
unwrap it from its swaddle blanket. And
It's a Cabbage Patch Kid or
plastic.
something, yeah.
Ooh,
Or
that's
it's a bunch of
terrible.
lettuce or
Or it's
Yeah,
like
that's
a
what I was
Furby.
thinking, like heads
A
of-
Furby.
That's the stuff of nightmares right there.
Honestly, though, if I got a Furby, I'd be like, I kind of missed the face on this little fucker. He was a weird looking dude.
Furbies used to like keep me up all
Yeah.
night.
Thanks for the gypsy advice out there. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's terrifying. All right, so Josh Oscar says, Psych just announced a reunion TV movie on USA. What are your thoughts?
I've never watched Psych, but my mom did, and she loved it. So I'm
Yeah.
sure she's
Isn't
psyched
there
about
like a
it.
huge
No
cult
pun intended.
following?
Yeah,
for
there
A lot
Psych?
of the USA
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah. Well, I remember
White collar, suits.
one of the funnier tweets I've read in like the last couple of days. Nick Kroll just tweeted, "Did anybody ever find out what happened on Burn Notice? Because they had that sketch. I never watched Burn Notice. My mom loved it. My mom loves Suits. I know a lot of people have tweeted us, "Do you watch Suits? Do you watch Suits?" I don't. I know it's a procedural-ish show. I would love to do a series finale review like we did for
should do
Good
that,
Wife.
yeah.
I watched Monk on USA.
Oh,
that was one of those
yeah.
ones. Tony Shalhoub was awesome in that
Yeah.
show. That show was a really quirky procedural that you could binge. You could do 3 or 4 Monks in a day, no problem.
You know, I watched USA was Highlander.
Oh, yes,
And then when I was
the
a kid,
Highlander TV show.
again, alluding to Skinamax, there's a show called Silk Stockings.
Oh, I love Silk
Woo!
Stockings. Yeah.
Boy, that show was hot.
And it was part of the Up All Night.
Yeah,
banner, Up All Night
I
on
was
USA,
up. I was
'cause
sneaking in
like,
my room, like watching
side
that. Yeah.
boob.
Well, speaking of Shalhoub, I watched Marvelous Mrs. Maisel again
Again.
this weekend.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
The
Literally,
best.
I'm obsessed.
Yes.
Okay,
Can't wait for
Luis says for Emma Fyffe, what's your favorite pre-90s anime? Mine were Saint Seiya and Sailor Moon.
Well, Sailor Moon is post 90s actually.
Whoa, you idiot.
Whoa, Luis!
Sorry,
Whoa.
sorry.
Coming in hot.
I know it looks like an 80s anime.
Blocked.
The animation was terrible, but yep, that actually didn't start airing until 1992.
That's the year I was born.
But my favorite pre-90s anime, gosh, well, I love the original Vampire Hunter D film. I also love 80s Bubblegum Crisis and
Akira.
Akira, of course, is great.
That's not a TV show, though. I guess.
But TV show, I also love Yorodon Samurai Troopers, which was released in the U.S. as Ronin Warriors.
Bam.
Dropping
Don't
knowledge.
get Emma started on anime. It's honestly
Excuse
like
me, it's
asking.
actually 92.
Yeah, you
Boom.
stupid idiot. Kidding.
It was
Love
a
you
good
guys.
year.
Saying
Yeah,
It
thanks
was
for
a
the
good
question.
year.
That Sinead was born. Like, the world got better.
Oh,
starting in
Batman the
92.
Animated Series came out in 92.
Yeah, exactly. It was a great year.
I was 8.
2 more quitter questions there.
Two more quitter questions?
Quitter, yeah.
All right.
We're going to quit
Chris-
after this last set of questions.
Chris says, can you see Better Call Saul eclipsing Breaking Bad? I think so. Send your ISP some donuts for their hamsters.
How do you mean eclipse? Like a better than?
In terms of, you talking
Or-
about numbers or?
I don't know. Like, let's think of an eclipse.
Pop,
So,
if it was a pop culture, like, is Better Call Saul going to be the more of a pop culture thing than Breaking Bad? No, I don't think so, because I think a lot of
what you
people.
laughing at over there, Adam?
We
Trying to
got
figure out what
some
we're talking
giggles
about?
over there from Adam Smith. I think he's laughing at his own something. He's not even paying attention to
Oh,
our
I
show.
thought he was laughing at the eclipse. I think he means, like, could you see this really taking over Breaking
No,
Bad?
I think it would have already, because we came right off Breaking Bad into Better Call Saul. You would think that way more people would be talking about Better Call Saul. I think at the end of Breaking Bad, everybody was like, all right, I'm over this world. And the diehards have stuck around. And I think it's a shame that it isn't, because Better Call Saul is very, very well done, very smartly written, and a ton of fun to watch.
But in terms of quality, though, I think consistency, Better Call Saul could be the more consistent show. Breaking Bad's excellent.
Yeah.
But there are some hits and misses in there. I feel like with Better Call Saul, I haven't felt that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's Adam? Adam's over there. Adam's.
I'm watching it like as the
Oh.
viewers.
Okay, all right.
Oh, I see. I was like, what's Adam doing over there?
There's a little bit of a
You're
delay.
watching the show on your computer live when you could just watch it
I know you
live?
have it here. We're live here.
We've got a Twitter question here from an Adam Smith. Big fan of the show.
That's hilarious. That's dedication.
All right, let's do one more. Sinead.
Okay, so this is Luis again, but we have to address this.
Yeah.
He says, is the Friends reunion happening for another season for real? So this is what happened, okay?
Break it down, Sinead.
Go.
A very sweet gentleman online tweeted me, John, no hard feelings, dude. I still love you. He tweeted me a poster from David Schwimmer's Facebook account that is actually fake. But it says fall 2018 NBC. It looks actually legit. Don't mind the cracks in my phone. But you can tell that that's the Friends logo. It says fall
Sure.
2018. It has the NBC logo at the bottom. So some person in this world is evil and made this post off of a fake David Schwimmer Facebook account. So the account isn't real. The news is totally fake. I tweeted out like, fake news, just because I got really, really excited. I did want people to get excited too, because my original tweet had a lot of likes, so I was like, oh shoot.
No.
But yeah, it is totally fake. It's not happening. And if I'm being 100% honest, like so many people were asking online, like, is this ever going to happen?
I doubt it.
Same thing with like
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a Will and Grace reboot coming, so
But Will and Grace is nowhere near the
no,
It's not.
zeitgeist of. But I will say, Ken Knapsack and I were talking about this morning. There isn't a show from our youth, basically, that has resonated just as well with millennials as Friends has.
No, it
Friends is
hasn't.
the one show that like has kept going throughout. Like, you know, my little cousins who are 15, 16, 17, they don't get Seinfeld. It's a little past them. I mean, I still live for Seinfeld, but it's not in their wheelhouse.
No.
Friends still is.
I've never seen a complete season of Friends. I've never seen more
Oh
than
my
3 or
God
4
almighty.
episodes.
Oh man, that breaks Sinead's heart.
Like
Sorry,
I don't even understand how you start watching Friends and don't.
But the thing is, I
finish
never
it.
really started. I'd just be like, I would be in a
You just
room,
catch
somebody
an
would be
episode
watching it,
here
and
and
I'd be like,
there.
oh, there it is.
Okay, well, just watch like season 4, 5, and 6, and you will after you watch season 4, you will 100% be convinced to watch the entire thing. Trust.
Okay.
Boom, Sinead dropping knowledge.
All
That will do
Good
it
talk.
for Twitter questions. Guys, again, we are here live from now on, Monday, 2 p.m. We're going to be live. So if you want to tune in, you want to watch, you got your Monday fix, you want your TV talk. So 2 p.m. PST, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 9 GMT/BST? Am I close? No, 10 o'clock British Standard? Son of a.
Well,
Tweet
2
at me.
plus 8, right?
Yeah, so 10.
You're
10.
right.
There we go. All right. We're in your televisions and Thursday in
Do they do
Australia.
daylight
I don't know
savings time?
what time is it in
Did you do
Australia?
daylight savings and
No, they do what they call British summertime.
oh,
Somebody told me that.
Aren't like daylight savings? Isn't that just like mostly an American thing?
Yeah, we're idiots.
'Cause, like,
it doesn't even happen in
I
Arizona.
know. I was going to
No.
say Arizona refuses to acknowledge it. So
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they know the rest of the country's whack.
it's for the kids when they go to the bus. You know, they want to make sure they have someone that goes to the bus.
whack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So before we get out of here, we didn't do it once last week because we were daily. And we'll incorporate it somewhere in the Daily Show when that does happen. But it's time for the Pick of the Week. It's my turn. I'm doing it.
Good job. Good job.
I'm doing documentary now. It's unbelievable. So well done. Fred Armisen, Bill Hader. They basically do spoofs on documentaries, classic documentaries about weird people. They've spoofed Vice. They've spoofed all kinds of documentaries. It is so tongue in cheek, so well done. It's on IFC, just like Portlandia is, where Fred Armisen has kind of changed the sketch comedy game. It is a really, really well done show. Documentary now. I highly suggest you check it out because I always have a blast watching it. And I know the people I know that watch it, we quote it constantly. So it is one of those friend kind of watching shows. If you're bored one night, you and your buddies are drinking, hanging out, before you go out, watch the documentary now. You'll enjoy it. All right, before we get out of here, where can the good people find you on the internet? Sinead Vries.
I'm online at Sinead DeFries and at thatsosinead.com or thatsosinead.blog. That's it.
I felt like it was continuing, but you
I know I kind of ended on a weird like hi
up note. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's
That's
it,
it?
you guys.
Eating donuts. David Griffin, what's happening?
I'll be on Movie Talk Friday.
Oh yeah, me too.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah,
Me too,
see?
guys.
Yeah, and at Griffin DE on Instagram and the Twitter.
Ooh, bing, bang, bong. Emma Fyffe.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at my name, Emma Fyffe. You can find me doing interviews for the Movie Trivia Schmodown. Big match coming up tomorrow. Team title match, Patriots versus Wolves of Steel.
Oh,
so
wow.
definitely tune in for that. And also, if you guys miss Anime Tuesday, which isn't going to happen this week, but you want to hang out with me and watch me play a very anime-inspired video game over on HyperRPG. That's twitch.tv/HyperRPG. I'll be streaming Persona 5 starting at 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific time tomorrow.
Anime Fyffe, there she is. She's the best. I'm Josh Macuga, at Josh Macuga on Twitter and Instagram, The Josh Macuga Show on YouTube. We're back next Monday, 2 p.m. live PST here on Collider Video. We'll keep you guys posted when we know more about when and if we go daily. Again, thanks for all the support last week. We'll see you next time. As always, put down the book. There is no Collider book talk. Put down the book.
Hey, you don't have the power to say that.
It's true, I don't. But for right now, put down the book. Pick up the remote.
Hey guys, if you like this video, click the thumbs up button. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll help you stay up to date with everything we've got going on here at Collider.